Hey guys, Mike here. We're going to do something a little bit different here. On this video, I am going to take you through the course design for each stage of the freedom match that we played last weekend, including the start position, scenario, procedure, and then I'm going to take you through what my strategy was going into these stages and then what the result ended up being. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Stage 1, start position. Seated in the ground blind, gun on bucket loaded with empty chamber. Ammunition carriers on body. Bow held in weak hand, strong hand on knocked arrow. Scenario, you are bow hunting when you start to hear banjo music. Hill folks appear and have taken your hunting buddies hostage. Arrows won't cut it here, time for your sidearm. On the beat, place bow down and retrieve your sidearm. Engage all targets through front windows of blind using tactical priority while seated. There is no cover on this stage. We have 8 IDPA targets, 2 steel. Scoring is best 2 on paper. S2 is more than 2 yards away from targets 3 through 8, and S2 activates targets 1 and 2, which are the disappearing targets. My strategy going in was to hit the 2 steel right away and then engage the disappearing targets while I had plenty of ammo in my magazine. The point was made that you don't have to engage those steel targets first, where we're going in tactical priority, because the threats behind the non-threats are not revealed yet. Stage 2, Carolina on my mind. Start position. Seated at P1 with firearm loaded to division capacity, placed on mark on table. Ammunition carriers on body. Scenario, your 4th of July picnic at the local park just went bad. Time to clean this mess up. Stage procedure. On the signal, engage each target with 2 shots, each in tactical priority. There is no cover on this stage. 6 IDPA targets, 1 steel. Scoring is best 2 on paper. Concealment is required. Setup notes: drop tuner T1 is a single reveal. Target 2 is a double reveal. S1 activates T1 and T2. Non-threat between T5 and T6 covers threat targets as shown. My strategy going into this stage was to hit the steel target and try to get the drop turners really quickly. While one of them was supposed to reveal twice, it didn't really quite work out that way. I think I ended up going with the left target first and then trying to hit the right, and missed both of them completely. But again, I wanted to engage those targets quickly while I still had plenty of ammo to engage. Next up, we have Stage 3, close shave, start position. Standing at P1 with razor in strong hand, ammo carriers on body, gun in box with magazine inserted and empty chamber. Scenario, you are trying to get through your morning routine when you hear your family screaming that the house is being invaded by thugs. Drop your razor, retrieve your gun from the nightstand drawer, and defend your house. Stage procedure, standing at P1 with a razor in your strong hand. On the beat, drop the razor, go to P2, retrieve your gun from the IDPA box, and shoot the thugs in tactical priority with 3 rounds each, 2 to the body, 1 in the head. Scoring unlimited, 18 rounds minimum, 6 IDPA targets, 2 non-threats, scored hits Mozambique, 2 to the body, 1 to the head. My strategy going into this stage was front sight focus and making sure that I do not hit the concrete wall, because that is an automatic DQ. Obviously we had to make 2 shots to the body, 1 to the head. Most of the targets were close enough that you can check your shots after, so I was keeping an eye on that and making makeup shots as needed. I knew that when I finished, I was down 1 for the stage. I believe it was the back left target, and I did not opt for a makeup shot because being down only 1 for the stage means it only adds half a second overall. And if I took another makeup shot, then it would have just wasted time. So as long as you have a shot on the head, then that's all that really matters, because if you miss, that's down 5. Next we have Stage 4, Hellbent on Election. Start position, standing platform at P1, firearm loaded to division capacity and holstered, ammunition carriers on body. You are given a 4th of July speech on liberty and freedom when ISIS elements crash the party. Defend liberty. Stage procedure. On the signal, engage each target with 2 shots each in tactical sequence. There is no cover on this stage. On this, let's see, we got 2 IDPA targets. There was supposed to be 2 steel, but they weren't set up. Scored hits best 2 on paper. Concealment is required. So my strategy going into this round was to just go for headshots because of those non-threats. I wanted to give myself as much margin for error as possible. I knew that we were going to have 9 targets that I was going to need to engage. Division capacity for me is 8 plus 1, so 9 total rounds. Now I got very confused halfway through that because I knew that I was going to have to reload on the very last target. So you can see me go for the reload and then realize that I had an extra round in there, which to me meant something very bad happened, and I didn't realize at the time what I had actually done. which was completely miss a target. So that is the reason for my confusion there. Then I was going to reload and then re-engage opposite direction. So I would re-engage the target all the way to the right and make my way back to the left like I did in this video. So overall, I will post the results on the bottom like I have for the other, but I did have 2 procedural errors on this. The first was for performing that reload while I still had a round in the magazine. If I had bent down and retrieved the magazine, then I could have saved myself the procedural, but I felt like it might be unsafe and waste too much time at that point to do it, and I was still trying to figure out what was going on with my extra round. I also had a procedural error for missing one of the targets, which is the one I bypassed, which is why I had the extra round to begin with. So overall, definitely not my best performance, but definitely a learning experience. Front sight focus was on pretty well. I nailed all the targets in the back row. I think my only misses were the ones up front, so I know that my accuracy was pretty well. Last but not least is Stage 5, Rocket's Red Glare. Start position, standing on platform at P1, firearm loaded, division capacity and holstered, ammunition carriers on body, flashlight in hand but off. Scenario, time to straighten a few things about how things are going to go in this town from now on. Stage procedure, on the signal, draw and engage targets T1 through T3 with 2 shots each in tactical sequence. Move to P2 and engage remaining targets, each target with 2 shots using available cover. 7 IDPA targets, scoring is best 2 on paper, concealment is required. Setup notes, flashlight is optional, leaving the platform activates timer and activators for clamshell. T4 is not disappearing, T6 is disappearing. So T4 is the target all the way to the right once you're peeking from cover. Not many people were able to engage T6 with 2 rounds. A few people were able to get 1 round on target. There was maybe one or two in my squad that were able to engage T6 with at least 2 rounds. I think one person managed to get 3 rounds on it. My strategy going into this stage was to use up all my ammunition on the platform and then perform a slide lock reload on the move while moving to point 2. And I was hoping that that would give me enough time to engage the targets before they were gone. That ended up not working out. You could not perform a tac reload on the platform because you are not in cover. You can only perform a tac reload while you are in cover. For confusion about the slide lock, the new rules say that you do not have to be flat-footed to do the reload. Thanks for checking out the video, and let me know if you guys enjoy this style.